14 Disney villains hired publicists. 14 official apologies for things they absolutely did. 1 clue, 12 seconds, 1 point, no second hints. The mirror has been retired. The question I asked it daily was a routine performance review of one employee, and any personnel decisions that followed were made in good faith and better tailoring. The answer is the evil queen, from Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, 1937. Lucille Laverne voiced both the queen and the hag, reportedly by removing her dentures. Regarding the hostile takeover of Mount Olympus, it was a transfer of power between family members. My brother received the top job without a single interview. I have grievances and, admittedly, a plan. The answer is Hades, from Hercules, 1997. James Woods ad-libbed so much of his dialogue that the animators animated to his riffs. Regarding the backyard, the experiments were art. The toys in question never complained because they are toys. The rocket was a packaging issue, and my client was 10. The answer is Sid, from Toy Story, 1995. He grew up to be the garbage man in Toy Story 3. Same actor, same skull shirt. My role as royal advisor was always at will. The staff was decorative. The hypnosis allegations remain unproven, and anyone who felt influenced during our private meetings was likely just agreeing with me. The answer is Jafar from Aladdin, 1992. Jonathan Freeman reprised the role in the Broadway musical 2 decades later. Regarding the asylum inquiry, committing a local inventor was a family court matter, pursued through every proper channel by a concerned citizen with impeccable antler decor. No one was jailed, he was simply collected. The answer is Gaston, from Beauty and the Beast, 1991. He doesn't exist in the original fairy tale. Disney invented him for the film. I was not invited to the christening. I want that on the record first. Everything that followed stems from that one oversight, which was theirs. I have said too much. The answer is Maleficent, from Sleeping Beauty, 1959. Eleanor Audley voiced both Maleficent and Cinderella's stepmother. I approached him as a child, offering to help. He declined, firmly, at altitude. What followed is called entrepreneurship, and the litigation is ongoing. The answer is Syndrome, from The Incredibles, 2004. His villain name hides a plain identity, Buddy Pine, the fan he used to be. The coat was a concept, spotted fur was the concept. At no point was a number put in writing, and the breeder community's response has been theatrical. The answer is Cruella de Vil, from 101 Dalmatians, 1961. The film pioneered Xerox technology to copy drawings onto cells, the only way to afford animating all those spots. The personnel losses at the palace were a staffing matter between professionals. The cat remains unaccounted for. The crown was merely the next line item on an ambitious agenda. The answer is Professor Ratigan from The Great Mouse Detective, 1986. Vincent Price called it one of his favorite roles of his entire career. I am a man of the community. The cards read what the cards read. Any outstanding balances are between me, my creditors, and my shadow, who is his own counsel and does not take meetings. The answer is Dr. Facilier from The Princess and the Frog, 2009. Keith David voiced him, and his shadow was animated as a separate character with its own intent. The hand was a workplace injury, and the response, the ticking, has been disproportionate. My complaint about the clock situation sits unanswered. The answer is Captain Hook from Peter Pan, 1953. Hans Conried voiced both Captain Hook and the children's father. The poisoning was a private HR matter between myself and the Emperor. My associate has been reassigned. I was subsequently transformed into a cat, so I would argue nobody here leaves clean. The answer is Yzma from The Emperor's New Groove, 2000. Eartha Kitt recorded a full villain song, Snuff Out the Light, that was cut when the film was retooled. I want to acknowledge the events at the Gorge. My brother was there, a herd was there. I was present for some of it. Gorges are loud, echoes are unreliable, and I have voluntarily stepped back from succession-related activities. The answer is Scar from The Lion King, 1994. Jeremy Irons strained his voice recording Be Prepared, and Jim Cummings finished the song's final verse. All contracts were voluntary, notarized, and available in advance. If the signer chose not to read the voice payment clause, that is a literacy issue, not a fraud issue. The eels were witnesses. The answer is Ursula from The Little Mermaid, 1989. Her look was inspired by the drag legend Divine. 14 points. 11 or more means you'd survive a press conference. Comment your score and the apology you'd actually accept.
Independent fan-made quiz not affiliated with Disney. Subscribe to Magic Quiz Club and pick your next villain on screen.